Oh, it was a good community then. Of course, travel wasn't as it is today.
I remember Fort St. John when it had hitching rails for the horses, muddy, muddy, muddy streets.
We were free as a bird, but we had responsibilities that came with that because you had to look after the little ones. That was just expected. That was the way it was. That was the system. But we had all the freedom in the world, and I think that freedom is sadly lacking now. We had to be innovative. We had to look after ourselves. We had to learn how to do things. We had to fight our way up. We had to fall down and get up. And, if there was somebody bigger than us to help us, fine. If you were the biggest one, then tough,
We used to get a lot of school teachers because they wouldn't stay very long. The kids were too bad.
Did road work for the Department of Public Works, they called it at that time.
Right.
Which meant you did it with horses, and, they called it a stone boat, and then a Fresno where you dug up a little bit and then leveled it off with a stone boat loaded with rocks.
Of course, in the early days it was farming. You farmed with horses.
There was at one time, if a moose came onto your property or a deer, you were allowed to shoot it and do something with it.
And usually I've counted as high as 40 deer out in the back there eating our hay.
We were working on the homestead, but we hadn't moved on there yet, and a neighbor shot a moose, and we divided that up and put it in a barrel and brined it. And thrashing time, and where the boys were thrashing, everywhere they went, they had some of that meat. And Ernie Peterson had a store for years, and he used to do a lot of trade with the Indians. And my dad, we had the truck, and my dad used to haul freight in for him. And in trade, we would buy food, flour, and tea and coffee, and all that type of stuff from Ernie Peterson.
My grandpa always hunted. Really good hunter. He could go get a moose right out in Charlie Lake. Just go a mile or two and he'd find a moose. He could call them. And I asked him to teach me how to call them one time. I don't remember how to do it. It made kind of a funny sound. And I forget how you did it, like, or something like that. I don't know what it was.
We had a flour mill here, Otto Hofstrom had a flour mill there, or a mill where he would grind grain, and if you brought in a load of wheat, he would grind it for you, and he would separate it, and there'd be bran and flour, and he would even store it if you wanted it stored to age, but a lot of people just took it home and put it in their attics. Tea, coffee, sugar, that's about all you need. Baking powder, very little. Rolled oats, a lot of people had rolled oats.
But I remember the first, like a Sunday morning or Saturday morning, we'd hook up the horses and drive into town with the horses. It was just to give you that nice feeling to go along with the horses.
My father used to get his pocket money, and us kids would each get 6 pence each, but we had to save half of it. So we had to save the rocks.
I used to get $1 for spending money, and with that $1 I could buy a Coke at the cafe, and then go to the show and pay admittance and popcorn, and then after the show I could buy a package of cigarettes and another Coke and still have a dime left over.
And I think there's around 30 cents a movie or something like that, or 20 cents, I can't.
When I stayed at my grandma's house, we went to see the movies every night, and I forget what it was. I got 25 cents, I think, and I could get a Coke for 10.
First movie I got to see was Gene Autry movie. And I still got pictures of, I just loved his singing and everything in this. I've been cowboy ever since, but
We used to come once in a while to town to a show.
Social events to raise a little money, and they had a box social one time, and so the women all made boxes of lunches and took them to the down to the box social and a dance. And then the soldiers bought the lunches, or your husband could buy the lunch too if they had money. So that was fun to watch and to see who was buying the lunches. And I remember one time Mom put a Mickey of whiskey in hers.